tape in front of a live
All right,
studio
people,
audience.
welcome to another episode of the Rockshow. This is episode 54.
54, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we cover Prince, Run DMC,
Black History Month. Yeah, we were doing that.
the whole Black History Month. We got one more show coming with a bunch of black musicians, Pure Hell and Death.
Death and Pure Hell. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow.
The documentary you sent me was pretty good.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Oh,
Lumpy.
thank
Oh,
you.
Scott.
Two-fisted
and Scott.
motherfucker.
That's getting lumped
Let's
up.
have a little salute right here to start the day.
Oh, yeah.
You got your
Salute,
shot of
man.
tequila. I got my...
My pen.
Oh.
Damn it.
All right. All right.
Let me get my pen.
Get your pen, Rob. Today's episode of The Rock Show is about Link Wray. Now, Link Wray was, if you don't know who he is, I'm sorry, you got to look this guy up. But
He was fascinating.
he invented the fucking power chord. That's it. Anybody who plays music today owes something to this guy. What'd you think when you started looking some of this
I know,
up?
like, he influenced, like, fucking Biggie. He influenced,
Well, the whole punk scene.
he influenced, a lot of the, Hendrix.
Yeah.
He
Clapton, Jimmy Page said he was a big
Jimmy
influence.
Page.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was like, holy shit, he just took a guitar, he made it sound like, that
Well,
it was different.
It was different, and it was a couple of reasons for that. We'll get into it. I mean, it was the equipment he was using,
Yeah.
and really just he was allowed to pretty much do what he wanted
Yeah.
when he played. But
But he really wasn't much of a singer, right? Mostly his brother sang,
his
right?
brother sang more. Most of his songs are instrumental.
Yeah.
He did have some songs where he sang, but he had that one lung missing.
Yeah.
So that was a problem
That's
for him.
incredible.
But he was still able to have a great career.
Yeah.
50 years the guy
He
played.
was born. Dude, he's also. I was surprised that he's also like Native American. And back in the censor day, when you did that, the
yeah.
U.S. censor, you had to put you were white or black. So
Yeah.
they considered a lot of Native American white, which was
Yeah,
like,
they would
holy
put
shit.
themselves down as white so they
Yeah.
wouldn't be discriminated
Yes.
against or whatever. Sometimes they would put themselves as black too
Yeah.
for reasons. But yeah, I mean, he was a Shawnee Indian out of North
Yeah.
Carolina. It's a great American story.
Yeah,
it really is.
He also explained those first three songs. It was the title. It was what is it, Shawnee?
He's a Shawnee,
Apache,
Apache.
whatever.
Some of the songs had Indian names.
Yeah.
Apache.
Apache.
Yeah.
And the song, and you know what's funny? When you started listening, you're like, "Oh my God,
You know this.
I know this.
Yeah.
I know that. It
Yeah.
was fascinating."
Yeah.
So
I mean,
my-
the Cramps made a career out of using some of Link Wray's.
Oh yeah, the
riffs
riff,
and
yeah, the riff. Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start playing the guitar and play just like him.
You could do it. Power
Man.
chords, man. That's what he did.
But the difference between I will honky tonk somebody with my guitar, smash it right over the fucking
Right
head.
over the head.
Yeah. Oh, Scott
All right.
the Clown is
All right.
watching.
So we're talking about Link Wray. Now he was born Fred Lincoln Wray Jr. in May 2nd, 1929. That was in Dunn, North Carolina. Now his parents were Fred Lincoln Wray Sr.
Yep.
and Lillian Wray. Both were Native American, like we just said. They were Shawnee Indians. He had two brothers, Vernon and Doug, and both were a little bit younger than him, and they would be involved.
They were all involved,
his
right? With the
young,
band.
no, Link was the oldest, but
Yeah, but-
they were younger than him by a couple of years, and they would be in his bands.
Yeah.
He did a stint in the Korean War, and during that time, he caught tuberculosis.
How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah, man, going to Korea,
He went to
get
Korea.
get tuberculosis. Well, I don't know if he got drafted or he enlisted,
Yeah,
but during that time, you could go.
You could have got worse. You could have got some dick disease.
That would have been good. Coronavirus of the dick.
Buku, buku. He's too buku.
Alabama black snake.
Oh
Anyway.
my God.
So he did a little stint in the Korean War. During that time, he caught tuberculosis, and they had to remove a lung. And so now he was short a lung. He was starting his music career, and they told him, "Listen, you're going to have to cut back on your vocals." He used to sing a little bit and play at the same time. So he concentrated more on the guitar after that, and he would let his brother sing.
Yep.
Now, early bands he had was called like Link Wray and the Palomino Ranch Hands. Okay, mostly he was playing country music.
Yeah,
All right,
he was
he was
originally a country.
very influenced by Hank Williams and people like that in the early '50s. You know, in those days, you really didn't have much of a choice. You would play country music or you would play shit like Perry Como, and he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, he gravitated towards country, but he was experimental and he was getting into other different things with the guitar, especially since his voice was now limited. But the Palomino Ranch Hands would relocate from North Carolina up to Washington, D.C. in 1955. Let me tell you what the lineup was. It was Link on guitar and some vocals. He had his brother Doug on drums. He had his brother Vernon on lead vocals. And then a guy named Shorty Horton on bass. Shorty would have his own career a little bit at that time as well. There was a local label named K Records that released some of his early singles. There was also a Texas label called Star Day Records. In those days, you had labels all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's why you would have regional hits.
Yeah.
You know, you could a label in Texas might like you. You might be based out of North Carolina.
Yeah, but
and you could have a hit in Texas because of that label.
yeah,
That's
but
how
if you
things
look
work.
at the record category, especially that the one song which I think is Rumble category 1347. You see that? It
Yeah.
catalyzes everything in numbers.
Yeah.
And if you look at all his songs, like some was here, they would same album that for some reason had different. When it was released, they had different people that did the album.
They would call, like, in one city, in one label, he might call it Link and the Rain Men.
Yeah,
and then it'd be Link and the Moon Men.
But there was
Something
also a
on
bunch of record labels. When you look
Yeah.
at him, like he wasn't like one record label. It was a bunch.
There was a bunch, and it was mostly singles at
Yeah,
that
it was
time.
singles, a
Mostly
lot of singles.
Wasn't albums. Now, at one point in 1958, they were just simply called the Raymen.
Yeah.
And then they were down to a trio at that point, and it was mostly just instrumentals they were doing. Now, Brother Vernon would legally change his name to Ray Vernon, and he became their producer manager of the band, basically. So now you're down to Link on guitar, Doug on drums, and Shorty on bass. So it was like a three-piece.
It was a three-piece, a trio.
Yeah. Now, Link was using at that point a 1953 Les Paul guitar. He was wearing leather jackets. He would wear sunglasses. And, you know, it was an image. And he was a guy, he had a full head of black hair, swept back. You know, he was a good-looking guy, and he looked like a fucking hood.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, that was the look that he chose. And, you know, it created a fearful kind of thing. People were actually afraid of him, you know, which I guess maybe because he was an Indian too.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
he literally took like the Men in Black thing and made his own Men in Black. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, he was influenced by Johnny Cash and Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis.
Okay, of course. And Link, in 1953, like I said, he was using that guitar and that look, but he would play a lot of what was called dance hops in those days. And one night, somebody asked him to play a type of music called a stroll, and it was something that you could dance to. That was a specific kind of sound. He didn't know how to do it, so he kind of invented something like right there just to make everybody happy, and that was the song "Rumble"
That
by
was
Link
fucking
Wray.
great.
Now everybody knows this song. You've heard it in movies. Pulp Fiction had it exclusively in the movie. Look up "Rumble" by Link Wray if you're not sure of it. It was a very primitive song. It really is. It's his signature song.
Yeah.
Okay. He would start a lot of live shows with that song, and it's just primitive guitar strumming with power chords, bar chords. It's really all it is. And
it was such a different sound, like
totally different.
Like,
Totally
you
different.
didn't have anything like that.
The only guy that was kind of like him was a guy named Dwayne Eddy.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dwayne Eddy, his guitar was more of a twangy kind of guitar.
Yeah.
You might know some of his instrumentals too if you heard it. But this was like boom, boom, boom. You know, like it was nothing sounded like that.
And you know what's funny? You heard that in a lot of movies,
Yes.
The Mystery for the years.
And you don't know
later
what
on.
it is.
I know.
Yeah.
And I love it that he redid actually the Batman. Hey Batman, hey Robin.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
He would do a lot of experimental instrumental stuff over the years. Now
Nobody
When-
knows. Look, the shadow. I was like,
Yep.
wow.
There was a label called Cadence Records, and in 1958 they actually put Rumble out as a single. It got to number 16 on the charts.
Yeah.
Did very well, but it was actually banned in Boston and New York City. You know why?
Because the gang, they were worried about gang.
They said it promoted teenage gang violence.
I was amazed by that. How did that promote teenage gang?
Because he was just wearing, he's wearing a leather jacket and everything, Link Wray and his Ray Men was now the official name of the band. And Cadence, when they had this hit, they wanted to keep him on the label, but they basically said, listen, you got to change your image a little bit. And they sent him down to work in Nashville, and he was going to be working with the Everly Brothers production team. But basically, they cut Cadence loose. They said, fuck that, we're not doing that, we're not changing our image. And they signed with Epic Records.
Yep.
The next single was called Rawhide. It's not the Rawhide theme song that you know. It's a little different.
That was really good.
Yeah. And what he started using at that point is he got away from the Les Paul, and he started using a Dan Electro. Okay. He was using a Dan Electro Longhorn super long neck guitar, and that made the power chords sound way more menacing than the Les Paul did.
Yeah.
So he got to number 23 with that song, and basically he was, like I said, he was every black leather jacket, hot rod, fucking, fan. Hooligan was into the band.
But
Okay.
but think about that. Your song got banned because it was like fucking riots. What the fuck happened when they saw NWA?
This was 30 years before that.
They were much menacing. Did not sing "fuck the police." Did not sing "fuck the police."
Yeah, no, it's funny because it really, it was an instrumental song, so there was no lyrics.
Yeah,
It was your imagination that was making you be worried about it.
That's the thing that even made it worse. It was instrumental.
Yeah. What can you do? But he would he would get with Epic. He knew that he needed to stay on this label a bit, but they kind of wanted him to make him sound a little safer, like Dwayne Eddy, for instance, was a little safer. But he would relent a bit and give in a little bit, and he would record some songs that were like not really what he was into, like some Irish traditional songs like Danny Boy. Okay, and he would have a full orchestra with him. Yeah. But it wouldn't last, and it didn't sell at all, okay? So Link ended up leaving Epic, and he started his own label with his brother, Vernon, called Rumble Records.
Rumble Records, yeah.
And Rumble Records would release a song right away called Jack the Ripper.
Great fucking song.
Great fucking song, and it's considered an influence actually on heavy metal music. Yeah. Because it's just such a powerful chord, powerful. Banging on that guitar.
I love that song, the Jack the Ripper song. You want to hear something about? Will you call him the godfather of instrumental rock? You think?
Yeah, if you wanted to use that title, why not?
I mean, who else can you think of that came with that sound?
Well, look, he was a precursor to surf music in some ways, surf music being instrumental. But I don't know. I think Link is in a category of his own. If you look at the guys in the 50s who were guitar players, I think the four most important guys are Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, Dwayne Eddy, and Link Wray.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, those four, and specifically Bo and Link, I would say are probably, out of those four, the two most important.
Yeah.
You know
what's funny? Out of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time, in Rolling Stone magazine, guess what place he came in? Out of the 100?
What?
45.
And that's being modest.
But this is like
I would put
the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. I'd like to see who the hell's in front of him.
The other 44. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could probably knock about 15 out of that. You know what I mean? You should be a little higher.
He also been nominated for the Hall of Fame, for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2013, 2017. Hasn't made it yet.
He's been snubbed.
No.
Okay. I'm in a Link Wray fan club group page on Facebook, and I've talked with his daughter on Facebook a couple of times. She's very nice.
That's good to do. You always with like podcasts like this, go into your fan group.
I'm gonna put this podcast on the group page, okay? Because I hadn't intended to do that. What would happen is when he signed up with Rumble, he put out Jack the Ripper, and it's interesting. Did you know how he recorded this?
How?
in a hotel staircase. Okay, from what I understand, he put the guitar. He was standing on one end of the staircase, and he had the amp facing him recording it from a distance, and it had such a great echoing sound that's how you get that sound.
Wow!
And it was just to get those riffs at the right sound that he wanted. There was a label in Philadelphia called Swan Records that he would get involved with now. They would release Jack the Ripper nationally for him.
Yeah.
Okay, because Rumble didn't have the capacity to do that. It did very well, and Link would be on Swan for about the next 10 years.
Yeah, that was another. Dude, they had so many. Like when you look at
Labels.
the category, there was so many there. But I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? Like,
Another big boy.
they were like, did they have that many levels and shit that they could?
Oh, in those days, there was hundreds and hundreds of record labels. I mean, they were small. They were regional. If he was in Washington, D.C., he couldn't release something nationally. So he'd hook up with a Philly label that could do that.
Could do it.
And then they could spread out the music.
Let me ask you a question. While I was listening to him, I never realized that Robert Gordon sang a few songs with him, and we saw him live in last summer, right? Was it last summer?
Yeah, right. That was back in July over at the Coney Island Baby
And
Club.
he sounded great.
Yeah, he did. Did you ever see the videos of Robert Gordon and Link Wray playing together?
I saw it, fantastic.
They do that version of Fire.
Yeah, fantastic.
You know who wrote that fucking song?
Ooh.
The biggest douchebag in the world. Bruce Springsteen. And everybody who's recorded that song did it better than him.
Is that why when they did the tribute to Lincoln, Bruce Springsteen and somebody,
Springsteen liked Link Wray. I give him that. Yeah.
Yeah, at least he got taste in music.
At least he's got good taste. Oh, you know what? That's true. It's true. Too bad it just doesn't incorporate into what he does.
Yeah.
Right, but that's a whole other podcast.
Do one. I hate Bruce Springsteen.
We should.
And why?
We should. Now, he, like I said, he would be on Swan for about 10 years. And but the good thing about being on Swan is they let him pretty much experiment and do what he wanted to do.
I read that. They
left him alone.
They left him alone. That's incredible.
Something today would never happen. Okay?
Yeah.
But back then they did. And he would turn his family chicken coop into a 3-track studio. Okay? And he'd be out in the backyard
Just
recording
jamming.
music, just jamming. Okay? Now, he was with them for 10 years. And
that's a long time.
they would release singles and EPs under some different names. Sometimes they were using like Link Wray and the Moon Men.
Yeah, they had a bunch
Link
of
Wray
names.
and the Fender Benders.
Yeah, why did he have so many different names? But
It was all more or less a lot of the same people, in the band. He's still playing with his brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, he might have a different guy here and there.
They
Bernie-
definitely had different singers every so often, right?
They hardly had singers.
I mean, what they did, they never had because they did 2 albums with Robert Gordon. Then
Robert Gordon would be singing. Yeah, that was late in the
I saw
career.
them do it with
Yeah.
somebody else. There was 2 or 3 other people that
Yeah.
I heard them sing songs. I thought these guys were only instrumental, but they had a few people that sang with. They just sang with them, Which was holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, people liked playing with him.
Yeah.
The guy named Bernie Binnick, who owned Swan, he was the president of the label. He was once asked how his label would put out, how they could put out such wild material. And his quote was about Link Wray, like, what can you do with an animal like that?
Yeah.
And it's true. 1971, he would come out with a gospel country rockabilly album called Mordecai Jones. Okay, and this was the beginning of 2 records that were called the Chicken Shack albums.
Yeah.
All right. Now I don't believe this was on Swan anymore. This was an actual full-length album he was putting out. It wasn't singles. He would release that, and then in 1973 he released an album called Beans and Fatback. Okay, and that was also recorded in his chicken coop. All right, awesome. Now, I don't have Mordecai Jones. I've heard it, but I do have a nice vinyl copy of Beans and Fatback. Really great album.
You know what I did? I just went into because I got Apple Music and they got a catalog where the $9.99. If you pay $99.99 for the whole year, the category they have of music, and I put him up.
Yeah.
And
lot
Dude,
of
there
stuff.
was fucking hundreds of fucking
Hundreds
albums.
of stuff.
Hundreds. I couldn't believe how much shit
Well,
was in there.
I
was
think
like, holy crap.
Norton Records, I believe,
Yeah.
has put out a ton of shit and just compilation on top of compilation.
Yeah.
You really can't you can't keep up with it all.
I couldn't believe how many singles. I mean, he had like a bunch of singles. And then he had a bunch
Very
of albums.
very unique kind of recording.
But it was like, dude, how much did he record, like, every day or something? Because that's how much shit he had.
He must have.
Because it was crazy.
If you look at the amount and over the years, if you add it up, he must have been recording stuff weekly.
Yeah.
Easily.
Let me ask you an interesting question. You
Yeah.
think he had a big influence on Lemmy?
Absolutely.
Because you can see like that.
No, without a doubt.
He did, because
No.
the hit with the bass guitar and like.
Well, remember, Lemmy from Motorhead, and we did a great show on that last year. Lemmy from Motorhead was originally a guitar player.
Yes.
Okay. And he was absolutely influenced by Link Wray.
I think
and then
100%.
absolutely, with no doubt. But when he would change over to bass, remember he played the bass just like a guitar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
But
you
definitely,
had that switch over. You know.
Yeah.
Now in the '70s, for all of us who can remember then, okay, there was a nice rockabilly revival, '50s revival,
Yeah.
Grease
Yes.
and all that stuff. Okay.
He
Now
was definitely a rockabilly too.
Now, one band that, without a doubt, and I mentioned it before, was influenced by them was the Cramps.
Oh yeah.
All right, one of my all-time favorite bands. You can check back a few episodes. We did a two-parter on them. They would actually take like some songs that use the main riffs and just put lyrics over them. They would just Link Wray songs.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they would put words to the instrumentals.
Yeah.
You know, and which I think is, you know, it's not even. Maybe with other people you would say, fuck them, they're ripping off Link Wray, but it worked with the Cramps.
It did work. Nah,
you
they
know?
put good lyrics
Yeah.
on. They did a bunch of stuff.
But one of the guys that really took to Link Wray during this rockabilly revival in the 70s was Robert Gordon, like we were just saying.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, now he recorded 2 albums with Link Wray, one called Robert Gordon with Link Wray, and the second one called Fresh Fish Special.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, look, all I can tell you is if you like rock and roll, you got to have those 2 records.
Robert
You
Gordon
have to
has
have those 2
such a
records.
great voice.
Great rockabilly voice, a total appreciation. The 2 of them worked very well together. And you know what's funny is when they parted ways, as far as I know, it was amicably or whatever.
Yeah.
They actually took half of Robert Gordon's band with them. A guy named Anton Fig and another dude. You know,
but they changed a lot. The band was always it was either him, his brother, or they had other musicians. The band went to change it to the year.
Yeah. Now through the 70s, he was a live act. He was somebody that you had to see. A good concert on YouTube to see is a show in '74 at Winterlands in San Francisco.
I saw that
the
show.
black and white.
It's on YouTube.
Yes, it's on YouTube.
You can see that it's like
Yes.
60 minutes. I think.
it's a
I saw the whole thing. That was
What'd you think of
fantastic.
that?
It was great.
I mean, what do you think when he came out?
It's like holy
I mean,
shit.
and he's he's got the big lamb chop.
Oh yeah.
Sideburns, the fucking sunglasses, the hair, and you're like, that is one badass motherfucker right there.
Yeah, he looked like fucking.
He looked like somebody would kick your ass.
He looked like Elvis with steroids.
Elvis, but like
steroids.
a punk rock Elvis.
Yeah, but
before punk rock.
That's what I mean. Elvis on steroids.
Yeah.
He's like.
I love the guy. You know, I got to see him.
And he was a big fucking guy too.
You know where I saw him?
Yeah, where?
Your bar. Bar None.
Bar None.
When it was Space at Chase.
Holy shit.
I forgot to tell you that.
Wow.
Yep. Early 90s. I got to see him one time. He was doing, I forget if it was 1 or 2 nights. It might have been 2 nights at Space at Chase. Ask Bob about it.
Wow.
He probably was there. You know, and blown the fuck away. I mean, I'm always proud of this. I saw Gigi Allen and Link Wray in the same place.
Yeah, Gigi Allen played there too.
Now, in the 80s, 1980 to be exact, Link would move to Denmark, specifically Copenhagen. And he was, in my research, I kind of wondered why, okay? And it just seemed like in Europe, he was really, really popular.
Yeah.
And he
Of
would
course.
he would do Europe. I mean, they appreciate that kind of music
Yeah.
more than we do here.
Yeah.
And I guess he probably wanted to relocate there to be closer to than Claymore. You know, it made sense.
He also had like 3 marriages, right? He
was married, I think,
He had
3
about
times.
8 kids, man.
Yeah.
It's like, and the guy lived a good life.
He did. He did. Now, even though he moved to Copenhagen, he would still play the States often. In the 1990s, his whole back catalog would get some attention because some of the grunge bands were commenting and saying they were influenced by him. Kurt Cobain, okay, said it.
Yeah, everybody.
You know, and it kind of rejuvenated him again and got him back in the studio. By that point, he was probably, pushing 70. He would sign up with a label called Ace Records. In 1997, he released an album called Shadow Man, and in 2000, he released an album called Barbed Wire.
Yep.
Both very good. I mean, I don't dislike anything this guy's ever put out.
Nah, he was good. He was really good.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that picks up a guitar, plays rock and roll, owes something to this guy.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Because, you know what, the guy definitely influenced a different fucking sound. Like that power chord sound, that thing. And, you know, he was just like, he was definitely, he was like beyond what
Yeah.
he was at
Yeah.
his time. Like
Definitely.
he was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And that riff, they say, holy shit, what can you say about that?
Nah,
Today we still got people trying to do
That song actually makes my hair stand up sometimes.
Yeah.
When I listen to it, it's just like there's nothing that sounds like that before or since. Really, I mean, it's such a powerful sound. And you know, my roots are in the punk scene.
Yeah.
So like, I hear those elements of Link Wray in everybody.
Wow.
Okay. Let's take a little commercial break right here and talk about our friends at Vidgo.
Vidgo? Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Vidgo is a brand new app out there that you can get on your Google and what?
Yeah, streaming service actually. New streaming to get
streaming
TV.
service.
TV
Yes, you
streaming
can
service.
you can stream television. And what's great about it is you can actually comment and have watch parties, and while you're watching stuff,
Yeah.
you know, it's a great thing.
It's a great app, but you know what's the great thing? They got pretty much almost every sports channel. They got ESPN, they got Fox. So anything you want to watch.
I think it's
like
over
if you
80
do-
different channels.
Yeah, if you
watch.
want to watch Fox Sports, like let's say your friends out, you got a friend that's an Angel fan, and Yankees are playing the Angels.
Yeah.
You can go back and forth shitting on each other in a watch party, or just like.
And you don't have to be there.
Or you can even start a group party. Let's watch
Yeah.
the Yankees, and you can invite people to watch the game.
Yeah.
They're great for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, and people did watch it on the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
a lot of people watch it.
You know, I've been getting like little advertisements from them to like join certain watch parties and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's kind of cool. We're hoping to get something going with them.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
hopefully.
I like to do a Always Sunny Philadelphia watch party. Just me and
Yeah.
you comment on this is shit.
Yeah.
That's just great.
We'll do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000
Yeah.
type thing. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
We should have done that. Like we should just do it to Metropolis.
Yeah. Just talk. It's too long.
But we
do a shorter one. Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein. We shit on that one. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That'd be fucking great. Oh my God, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do Mad Love.
Mad Love. Yeah. Galatia. I love you. I love you.
That was great. That was great.
Peter Lorre.
He was so fucking creepy, man.
I love that movie.
Even to today, I looked at that movie.
Yep.
And I'm creeped out. So, you did a little something. You got a little record review
Yeah.
you're gonna do right now.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I got reacquainted with an old acquaintance of mine, New York City guitar god, Joey Pinta. Okay. Joey had an amazing. He's still playing. I shouldn't say had. He has an amazing career. He played in the '70s a lot at Max's Kansas City with a band called the Knots. And then he would play with the Waldos into the early 90s, record that one classic album of theirs called Rent Party. He went on to some other things, and he's still playing. And thanks to the power of social media and a few acquaintances, I got reacquainted with Joe. We've been talking a little bit, and he's a great guy. He's living out in Chicago right now. He's got a studio. He's making his own music, and he sent me some stuff, and I really was kind of blown away. I knew it would be good because he's always. Let me tell you, when I used to see him in the Waldos, they would play the Continental over on 3rd Avenue. Sadly, the fucking building just got knocked down.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Gentrifications, fucking everything up over here. But the Continental was a spot that I always hung out in the late 80s and early 90s. And in the early 90s, Joey had joined up with Walter Lohr and an old buddy of his named Tony Coiro, and played in the Waldos. And I used to sit in front of him at that little club and watch him fucking shred.
Wow.
All right. And this guy could play. I mean, it really was like watching an amazing guitar player in a small club.
Wow.
Really. But I want to talk a little bit about the Knots. Okay. Knots. All right. The Knots. And he sent me this in the mail. And I had only heard, to be honest with you, one song from these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, but they never recorded the full album. They had a lot of problems in the band, but they were big at Max's. And I want to read, if you don't mind, a little bit of the liner notes that came with this. Now, Peter Crowley used to run Max's Kansas City, okay? Yeah. And he wrote some really cool liner notes right here. I'm going to read this. Okay, it says, back in the 1970s, Max's Kansas City introduced many fine bands. Some of the best never got famous. Fuse, also known as Knots, was one of the finest. Let's start at the beginning. Joey Pinta was looking to put a band together in the mid-70s when he met the loudest drummer he'd ever heard in his life, and his name was Nicky Fuse. They recruited vocalist Tommy Belt and began rehearsing with a parade of now forgotten bass players, and began gigging at various dives in and around Manhattan. Soon, they scored gigs at CBGB's and Max's, and began to attract a following that included Eric Dufour, a former Island Records executive who asked them to record for his new label, Ideal Records. Unfortunately, band infighting had reduced the Knots to just Joey and Tommy, and so they entered Neil Steingard's Fly Studios in Brooklyn with replacement drummer Jerry Ryan and Pinta doing the double duty of guitar and bass in the studio. Now there they recorded a few songs. The two that made it to the single that we have here, and plus Rock and Roll New York and Blinded by the Darkness and Glad to Be Alive. They also covered the Stones' Live With Me. When the finished record hit the streets in 1980, the Knots became a hot commodity. I put the single on Max's jukebox, and Bleecker Bob's sold out multiple copies.
Wow.
Back in the day when you could do that.
Multiple copies. Wow.
Yeah. And on Manhattan's downtown club circuit, the Knots shared bills with now legendary outfits like the Heartbreakers, John Thunders, right?
Yep.
Okay, Tough Darts, that was Robert Gordon. Planets, The Fast, The Cramps, and as well as headlining their own shows at Max's with Nick Fuse back in the drum seat and Big Tony Coiro on bass guitar. The Knots were on their way to fame and fortune. Knots also toured the nation with Johnny Thunders, but then in 81, Max's Kansas City died. CBGB's kind of went new wave, and Johnny Thunders took off for Europe. The Knots broke up. Joey and Tony joined the Waldos. Fuse went to play in different groups, and Tommy disappeared altogether.
Wow.
All right? Now, however, the Knots recordings have had a life of their own. They were covered by underground bands all over the world and used in film soundtracks and on punk compilations. Okay, so basically, this is a very seminal band, the Knots. And what I'm going to show you here is this is the single, a song called, side one is a song called Heartbreaker. And on the back is a song called Action and Glad to Be Alive. Now, honestly, Action was the only song I ever knew by them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So these other two tracks are just fantastic. Working class rock, punk rock from 79. I mean, it's just amazing shit. Joey's an amazing guitar player. And one thing too you got to know is this actually came out on Rave Up Records. Okay, now Rave Up is a very cool label from Italy. They actually released some of my buddy Rick Rivet's stuff last year, and Rick had told me that they were a great label to work with. Oh, you're getting kissed on the show. All right. That don't happen to me. All right. But Rave Up is a cool label. Go to raveuprecords.com. Check out the knots. Buy this. Joey could definitely use the money, as anybody could. One other thing he gave me too. Before I even talk about this, okay?
Yeah, another record.
This is the other record here by the Waldos. All right, Joey. That's this cat right here, Joey Pinta, right here. All right, and Tony Coro, big guy right here. He was in the knots, but the Waldos put out this single in '91, "Crazy Little Baby" and "Cry Baby."
Cry Baby.
Great shit. Probably can't find this anywhere. I think it's out of print. But if you could find the Waldos Rent Party album, get that. Right?
Good album.
Fantastic. It's a cult classic. Cult classic.
So what's this that you have?
This is a brand new. Now Joey has had some ups and downs since she left the Waldos. He basically, I think, ended up in LA for a little while, did some recording there, and now he's in Chicago. And in 2015, he came out with this self-titled album here. It's cool. Looks like he's shooting a gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome cover.
Yeah, great cover. And 17 tracks, people. This is a fucking double album. All right. I couldn't believe how many tracks were on this thing.
See this?
Yeah, sure.
Swamp Boogie sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Written down.
My song on there, I'll show you. My song
Nice.
is the first track called "Be Like You." All right. This is just a snotty ass song, punk rock all the way, attitude. You're talking a combination of the guitar work on here is a combination of Richards, Johnny Thunders, who Joey was absolutely influenced by Johnny Thunders. One other person that Joey is influenced by is T-Rex, Mark Bolan.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing a show on them soon.
Yeah, because they're going to the
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, we're going to be doing a show on them soon. You can hear Mark Bolan through some of this. I hear it. This is a great album. Pick this up. I believe it's available on Amazon. Joey Pinta. If not, you can definitely Google it and find it. He's also been giving me some new songs that he's working on. He's releasing some things on SoundCloud. He had a song called Convert. He's not going to be pressing any CDs on new stuff. He's just making it all download.
Yeah, because you can probably buy that album on Amazon, and when you buy it on Amazon, you also get the digital version. And you got the Amazon Prime Music.
Yeah.
So you get that too. So it's not just one thing.
Right, because a lot of times when I buy stuff, it'll show that it's available on the cloud.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's the way with music is now. Me, I love my Apple. I swear by Apple Music.
Yeah.
Everything it's there. Any category, anything.
They have an amazing catalog. You wouldn't think it, but they do.
Yeah, but you send me something, and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I look it up, and right there's the album, and that's it, man.
Yeah,
you can watch it and do whatever the hell you want. You can listen to all the songs. You can listen to album.
Yep.
Like when I was looking up Dr. John, even they had so much shit on Dr. John. And
he had a lot of music.
And they also give you a brief history of the band. They got a good thing. They give you a brief history.
Yeah.
And they give you the lyrics if you're looking for lyrics too.
Lyrics
so it's fantastic.
Good to have lyrics.
Too. For also like the WWF Network is also $9.99 a month.
On Apple.
On Apple,
nice,
baby.
Nice.
Which I recommend it to anybody.
So that's all I got for you today, Mr. Rossi.
So what's the next show we're doing? We got another big show.
Tomorrow we have a guest. You'll see who she is tomorrow. She's an amazing guest. We're doing a show on the band called Death and the band called Pure Hell.
Pure Hell.
Both black punk rock, proto-punk bands. We're going to get to the bottom on what was the first black punk band. And I'm looking forward to that. It should be good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And Mike, how can they reach out to you?
If you want to find me, I am on Rocker Mike 212 on Instagram, Rocker Mike 3 on Twitter, And you can find me under my real name, Michael Baker, on Facebook. I do a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, you can find me anything getting lumped up. You look lumped up, you can find me on any social media. The show's also on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Snitchers, Podcast Pro. It's
Pandora,
everywhere, everywhere that you want.
Anchor.
That you want to. And the next thing is that we also are looking now. We're actually taking things to sponsor the show, so we can we get enough viewers that we can actually sell your stuff and start getting people to give us some promo code and hopefully get this machine working and running.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2020 is going to be our year, people. All right, we're getting there, and it's all thanks to you. I'm totally grateful. One thing I want to mention is going to be a little change in format starting next week. We're not going to be going Facebook Live anymore. We're going to be looking at YouTube Live, right? YouTube Live.
It's not even YouTube Live. We're just going to load. We're going to tape. We're going to tape the show,
right?
But we're going to load it up
on YouTube right away,
and you're going to be able to watch. It's not right away. Like when we do it, it'll take a few days.
Yeah.
But I'll probably load the video before I put up the podcast.
Yeah,
so.
And if you're worried about that, don't be. Just go to our YouTube channel, Getting Lumped Up.
Yeah.
See this guy's face there when you get onto it, and just sign up. Okay, it'll go right in your inbox, basically. When you have it.
Yeah. Actually, if you subscribe, definitely the subscriber. We just need 8 more subscribers. I can take you the URL and it'll be lumped up forever, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So remember, the next show is Pure Hell and Death.
That'll be tomorrow.
First punk rock and roll kind of band. Because I saw a little bit of the documentary and it's fantastic.
On Death?
On Death.
It's a great story.
The guy was like, we're black guys that want to play rock and roll. What the fuck's wrong? And they're like, no!
And the neighborhood freaked out.
The neighborhood, the music industry freaked the fuck out.
Yep. All right, people.
Remember, don't get drunk, get lumped up. See you soon.